Hi, it's me. It's July 5th on 2020. I am sitting in my truck and thought I'd tell you a little bit about what I'm doing and why. So over the years, I've had problems with rats getting into the engine of the truck and doing significant damage. It can be very expensive. In fact, let me come over here to the engine. But what they'll do is they'll get under the cover, and there's oxygen sensors under there, and they ate the wires. And I've heard that this is a pretty common thing. It's a Toyota Tacoma. It's a pretty common thing with this engine that they sit right under here. They start to make their nest. They chew the wires, and it's a multi-$1,000 repair to get the oxygen sensor because they have to pull the cylinder heads. For the last, 9 months or so, I've had this ultrasonic, it basically flashes LEDs and makes some kind of an ultrasonic chirping sound to keep them away. And I've used Critter Ritter, which is basically capsaicin oil. And so far that actually has been fine. Like, I've had really good luck. There's no evidence that any new critters have been in the engine. Having said that, I got in the car, running into something here, a couple of months ago, and there was a rat ran out from under the dashboard to the back seat in the cabin. And it's the first time I had seen a rat in the cabin. I set a sticky trap for him that night, and I caught him. But ever since then, I've been wondering, like, how the heck did the rat get inside the car? And I'll just show you what and I don't know the answer yet, but keep rats basically here at the base of the windshield, where the windshield wipers normally are. This is the air intake for the cabin air, and you can see I put this screen on it, and I've screwed it in. I did this like 5 years ago at least, and it's really secure. As far as I can tell, no critter has gotten in. So the cabin air filter is right down there, like literally 6 inches below. I'll show you that from the inside. And then I put a similar screen here. This is the engine intake in the fender, and those seem fine. So you go, so here's the big reveal. I've been trying to figure out where this rat got in. So here's my truck. Door off, fender off, the dashboard's completely pulled apart, seats are out, most of the interior is in the back of the truck. Had an opportunity to wash the rugs, the carpeting, but I basically just torn the thing apart. And what I found was this nest of material behind the gear shift. Somebody was working on a nest, and I thought this was insulation from the back of the carpeting or something, but it didn't color match. And then I realized it's the back of this moving blanket. So he had been ripping the back of this blanket and was starting to build a nest here behind the gear shift. So I found that there's no other damage, there's no poops or anything. And in fact, the only place I've seen poops this is where the cabin air filter goes, right? So there's some rat poops down in here. Now, when you're on this side, the up side of the cabin air filter, I had always thought that the only way to get into the truck was through the cabin air filter. Like I had seen before where they had chewed holes in this thing. And I certainly have cleaned this. I know it looks dirty, but I've replaced it a couple times since putting on that screen. So somehow these poops still got in here. And there is nothing between here and the screen, which you can see. You can kind of see it up there. Like there's no way for an animal to get between here and there. I just am stumped. And so I've checked everything. Like I pulled this quarter panel off because I wanted to look at the grommets, and there was another one here. There's like a drain, a water drain that goes in up here. So water that comes in from the windshield goes through here and comes out this hole and goes down. And I've had chipmunks build nests in here before. And so that's why I wanted to take the quarter panel off to see if there was any way through. A lot of dirt came out. But this grommet I have off, that goes to the door electrics. But all the grommets are in good shape. They were all seated. They were all, you know, nothing looks like it's been chewed on. So not sure what to do. Had quite a project here taking the truck apart. So there's the rat problem. The other issue is that the other reason why I thought it was worthwhile taking this apart is I've got a problem with the heater and air conditioner. There's some kind of a leak in the air conditioner, and it will not hold Freon. And then the second thing is that you can never get just outside, you know, cool air. It's always warmed some. So I can get warm and hot, but I can't get fresh air and cold. I don't know what's going on. So I took out, there are these servos that control the air dampers. Servos are all working good. I bench tested them. The flappers look good, although this one that goes below the air thing has, you can see the rat chewed one side of it, but you know, it's still intact. There's another air damper up here for the recycle air. And by the way, I did notice that one way into the cabin, if you were a rat and you got up in here, you can get into the cabin if you can push the recirculate air, and then you can get back. But I don't know if they did it. Anyway, so I have not yet taken the heater core apart, which I think maybe is the next thing, because I got to see why I can only get warm but not cold. And all these flappers feel like they're moving okay. Some of the videos on YouTube talk about you have to remove this part of the dash, and to get that out you have to take this beam. There's this steel beam in here and it's bolted on both sides, and I just haven't worked up the nerve to go that far, although I've gone so far. Maybe I should. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know what else I could say, but it's a project I started, and I guess I gotta finish it and get my truck back together. It may take me a few days. This is what the whole scene looks like. Okay, well, I'll tell you more later when I decide what I'm doing here.